So I'm a little pinched on time this morning, but I just want to make this video really fast because I don't believe that I could properly convey what I need to say right now into any type of text and have it come out right. So I want you all to hear my heart and I want you to hear my words. I was approached this morning by a very, very dear sister who told me that she was afraid that possibly I had allowed diet to become an idol in my life. And guys, this is something I've prayed on extensively, okay? Because I am an extremely passionate person when it comes to something that I care deeply about. And sometimes I can get a little too overly fixated on something. When it comes to my diet and when it comes to sharing about my diet, I do so in a very passionate manner. And the reason is because the Father has brought so much healing to me through my diet. Okay? And I watched people struggle for years and decades eating the wrong foods that are killing them. And knowing how simple it is, wanting to share that with others that I love. Okay? The Father did not create us to be sick. He did not create us to be inflamed. He did not create us to have brain fog. He did not create us to be overweight. He did not create us for bondage. Okay? He created us to be free from all of these things. And through years of praying and through the last year of doing deliverance and praying to the Father to show me what I was doing wrong, what was harming me, and having Him bring me to the understanding of the carnivore diet, I feel like He has illuminated to me that not only do I need to do this to heal myself, but I need to share this with other people who I see are on the same trajectory as me 20 years ago. They're trying the pills. They're trying the powders. They're trying the paleo diet. They're trying to be vegans. They're trying to do all of these things that they think are right, but in so many ways are wrong. Okay? So, understanding that, and then understanding this too. You guys, I have overcome many addictions in my life. I can guarantee you that I would talk to somebody equally as passionate about using methamphetamines, using alcohol, or using cigarettes, which are all addictions I have broken in the past. And I am extremely passionate about as well. So if I saw you using methamphetamine, I would talk to you passionately about the dangers of using methamphetamine. And if I saw you smoking every day, I would speak to you passionately about stopping smoking. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about food right now. And we're talking about food addiction. Okay? Make no mistake. I would venture to say that every single one of us has a food addiction. How many times have you told somebody you have a sweet tooth? That's not a sweet tooth. Nobody is born with a sweet tooth. God did not give us sweet teeth. We have an addiction to sugar. That's why you have a sweet tooth. How many times have you said to somebody, I can't give up my bread? Well, you can't give up your bread because your bread is an idol. And the reason food is not an idol to me anymore is because I've given up that addiction. Food no longer controls my life. God controls my life. And that is why I speak so passionately about the carnivore diet and the things that I do. It's the exact opposite of it being an idol. I am trying to break the idols in other people's lives. And yes, those idols can be food. Those idols can be addictions. And, you know, there are many things that we eat here in America that are not even food standard to other countries. So I'm going to challenge that, you know, and it doesn't mean I'm overly obsessed with my diet. Everything that has happened to me with this diet goes straight back to the Father. I prayed for him to give me this enlightenment. I prayed for him to give me the desire to learn about this stuff. And the things I have learned over the course of the last 5 months have made me even more passionate about helping people kick their food addictions than even how I feel physically today from eating the way that I eat. So, although I appreciate your concern, I love the fact that you care enough about me to say something like that. I am hoping that by telling you this, that you will understand why, what my motivation is. My motivation is not to elevate food. My motivation is to de-escalate food. Because it has become an idol in so many people's lives. And I just want to say right here and right now, if I've ever said anything to offend you, firstly, I will say I'm sorry. But secondly, I will ask you, what about what I said was offensive to you? You know, I think that that's a big question. What about that was offensive to you? And I'm not saying that that's what happened with this person. I'm just saying, if I've said something that has offended you, then it's a good place to stop and pause. You know, over the last 12 years, I've gotten to where I am because somebody said something that offended me and made me say, well, now wait a minute. Does this actually pertain to me? Is this something I need to deal with? You know? So I feel like we are all called to different purposes. Okay? Some of us, like, we learn about this all the time in class and at church. Some of us are called to be those quiet encouragers. Some of us are called to be those humble servants. Some of us are called to be more prophetic in nature. I consider myself to be more prophetic in nature. God has shown me healing through this. And if you're dealing with the same symptoms that I was dealing with, then I want to share with you that you don't have to go through that. You don't have to spend the close to 30 years that I spent chasing every advertisement and every single pipe dream of losing weight or getting rid of inflammation or getting rid of your autoimmune disorder. You don't have to chase those things because you know me. And if you don't want to take my word for it, I will gladly share the information with you to go and watch the doctors that I've learned from about these things, you know? But I hate to sound like this, but I absolutely won't apologize for trying to help people. It is absolutely miserable To wake up every day not knowing how you're going to feel. To not be able to make plans with your children. To not know if you're going to have a migraine. To not know if your knees aren't going to work today. To not know if you're going to be able to use your hand to decorate cakes today. To not know if you're going to be able to stand on your feet for 8 hours today because they burn from so much sugar inflammation. I know what that feels like. And if I can save one person from one day like that, then I will do it unabashedly. I will do it without shame. And that does not make that an idol in my life. So again, I do appreciate your concern for me, but I guarantee you that there is not a second of each day that goes by that I don't thank the Father for everything that He is doing in my life. And the glory goes back to Him and Him alone. The strength to do what I've done does not come from me, it comes from Him. And the understanding that He is giving me. So I guess the thing it comes back to is just not knowing truly who I am as a person, and I totally forgive you for that, because we are still getting to know each other. But I am like this with every single thing in my life that the Father shows me that brings healing to my life. I am like a dog with a bone. I want everybody to experience the healing that I'm feeling in my body. And believe it or not, I am the same way with the Torah, and I am the same way with the gospel. I want everybody to experience the relationship I have with Yeshua. I want everybody to experience the goodness that comes from His commandments. Everything. Everything comes back to Him. Just so you know who I am, I'm all in on everything that I do. So I hope that this has brought some understanding to you about who I am. I have absolutely no offense whatsoever in you talking to me about this, but I really feel like I need to address this, because if one person is thinking this about me, then I know there's a whole bunch of others who are thinking about me. And yes, my own daughter even jokes with me all the time. Oh, here we go with the carnivore diet. Yes, here we go with the carnivore diet. It is the ultimate healing if anybody is suffering from inflammation of any kind. And I will say that, pounding my fist over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's just one more thing that we have all been lied to about. So, that having been said, should I allow my brother to walk in lies and falsity at the risk of sounding like somebody who's made diet an idol? That would be my question to you. I have no offense in you talking to me whatsoever. None. And I hope that I have not offended you in making this video or saying the things that I've said in this video, because that is not my intention. My intention is for your good, not for your bad or anybody else's. So that's pretty much all I can say about it. Addiction is a funny thing, Nobody ever wants to hear the person who is trying to break your addictions. Guys, we're addicted to so much stuff. We're addicted to sugar. We're addicted to carbs. We're addicted to inflammatory foods. We're addicted to porn. We're addicted to bad music. We're addicted to horrible entertainment. We're addicted to sports. We're addicted, fill in the blank. We are an overly addicted society. And anybody who is stepping out of those addictions is going to come off as a threat to you if you're not willing to step out of them. And that's just the truth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it makes me seem rigid. I'm sorry if it makes me annoying. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But I love you, and I want to see you healed. You know, we don't say that people who practice deliverance are idolaters. We don't say that person who constantly lays hands on people is taking up deliverance as an idol. You see what I'm saying? We don't look at the drug counselors as idolaters because they're out there telling people not to do drugs. I mean, you really need to ask yourself why it bothers you so much that I am taking a sledgehammer to the dietary house of cards that we have in this country. Why does that bother you? You know, I don't believe in drugs of any kind, even pharmaceuticals. I do not believe that we eat appropriately in this country. And I've been shown the proof of that. Am I supposed to take my truth and hide it in the ground like the servant who hides his talents? I've been given a talent here. And it is my job to share that talent, to multiply that talent. And that just got placed on my heart by the Spirit right now. I have been given a talent. So if I'm given a talent by God, then why do I not want to share it with my brothers and sisters? I don't want to come off as being selfish with that talent. What if I could save somebody from having their foot chopped off because they have diabetes? What if I can save somebody from suffering from migraines all the time because they have brain inflammation, or because they have intolerances to food that manifests in a migraine? And I didn't do that. I didn't share the truth with them. It would be just as bad if I didn't share the truth of the gospel with the person who doesn't believe in God. In my opinion, that's how I look at it. You're welcome to try and prove me wrong on that, but that's how I look at it. It's my job to share. It's my job to have a testimony with people. That's all I'm doing. Anyways, I think that's all I need to say about it. But it does mean a lot to me to help people. I've always been the type of person that helps people. And whether that just be sharing a word with them, sharing my testimony with them, sharing God with them, sharing information about, I just had a lady in my car this morning who has a nonverbal autistic kid. We talked for an hour this morning about ways that she could help her autistic son. What if I didn't share that information with her? Things she had never contemplated before or heard about. But things that worked with my own autistic son. You guys, I'm telling you, we have a mission, and it's not always what somebody else thinks it should be. Sometimes we have our own callings to walk in. I don't know what your calling is, but I know what my calling is. I see people every day on my Facebook selling what they think their calling is. Whether it be health and beauty or makeup or hair care or powders and pills and all this other stuff that people are selling. We've all got something that's important to us. We all have our own mission to tackle. And if we don't go and speak our mission that the Father is putting on our heart, then we are in direct disobedience to that. That's my heart today. It's my heart today. And I know that not everybody is going to receive my message. And I'm praying every day that the Father give me the grace to accept that. Because not everybody is going to want to give up their addictions. Maybe they will one day. Maybe, 10, 15 years from now, they're going to say, that Tracy was so right. I should have done this years ago. And at that point, I will have just been sad that they had to go through another 15 years of misery before they tried it. So, anyways, that's just my heart today. Receive it, don't receive it. That's between you and God. It truly is. It's between you and God. I love you all the same, either way. But the devil himself is not going to shut me up, because I've got something to say. And if I'm living, if I'm breathing, I got something to say. Because God has given me a word to share with people, and I'm going to share it. Period. I love you. Shalom.